in order to conduct a shadow test, you actually have to have something to sell. So you're pre-selling, and so you have to have something that people are willing to pre-order, which is an idea called minimum economically viable offer, or I abbreviate it MEVO, M-E-V-O.
Okay.
And a MEVO, you can think of a MEVO as a prototype that has been improved via iteration to the point that somebody is actually willing to pay you money for it.
Okay.
Okay? And it's not perfect. It may not be fully polished. It may not be complete. There may be more that you can do, but you've created enough real tangible value that somebody's willing to pull out their wallet, money, credit card, check, and say, yes, I will take one.
Now, do you tell them that this is a test? How do you do this?
No, it's actually, your MEVO is your first economically viable product. It's the first thing that people are willing to pay money for happily. So, for example, the first version of this course is a minimum economically viable product. It's certainly not in its final form. We're going to be improving it over time. But it is valuable enough that we're glad you joined us. But there are a ton of people who are willing to take the course, even though, as of this moment, it is still in the process of being improved.
Okay.
Which is great. And the reason that you do that is, remember that businesses, usually when you're creating value and you're marketing and you're delivering value, you're spending money.
Yeah.
Okay. The only point in the process where money comes in is the selling part.
Right.
So it's important to get to the selling part as quickly as you possibly can.
True.
And that's what your minimum economically viable offer does. And so the MEVO for this course was actually the sales letter, the sales page, where basically all it was, you can think of it like a prototype. It described what the course was, what you would learn, all of the things that we would be talking about and how you would benefit from it, and then a link to an order. That was our minimum economically viable product.
So the MEVO doesn't have to look anything like what the people are actually buying?
No, it's your prototype. And actually, the sales letter, or what we're using, as the sales letter, or the structure, is the structure of the course.
Right.
So essentially what it was the course plan translated into a form that you'd be able to understand it. And then it was enough that people would be willing to sign up for the course with the understanding that this is what we're going to be talking about.
Okay.
Or learning. So yeah, all it needs to be is the first thing that people find economically valuable enough to pay for. And then once you have that, and once you start selling, and then you provide that value to them, then you can keep iterating after that. But the point of the game is of the value creation process is to get to the point where you have a minimum economically viable offer that is selling.
Interesting.
As quickly as you possibly can.
It's an interesting way to think about it, because at least with what I'm trying to do right now with the website thing, I think that I have to at least develop like the website 1.0, and then I can do like 2.0 and 3.0.
Yes.
But I guess
you
don't have to even get to your final state first before you sell something?
No. So you're developing a yoga program.
Right.
You don't have to have the entire program developed before you start selling. All you need to do is make people aware of what it is that you're actually going to be doing, and make that valuable enough that people really internalize, like, this would be really good for me. I'm going to sign up now with full knowledge and expectation
that it's not finished.
That it's not finished.
Right.
That's a work in progress. But you don't know if something's economically valuable until they buy it. And so the point is to develop something to the point where people start buying first.
Got it.
Or as quickly as you possibly can, because that validates that there's an actual market.
True, before I spend 8 gajillion hours putting the site together.
Exactly.
Oh, it's scary though.
Yeah, it is scary. And this goes back to the defending drive.
Yeah.
Of what if a whole bunch of people buy my stuff
and then it sucks.
And then it sucks. Or, worst case, it's like, what if it doesn't work and people don't like me, or I have to give their money back?
Yeah.
Or something goes wrong and all this. And, you can make contingency plans for that. So you're prepared.
Right.
But The real disaster would be to spend so much time,
You're right.
hundreds of hours developing something that no one wants.
You're right.
It would be a waste. And developing a minimum economically viable offer helps you validate as quickly as you possibly can that yes, you have something to sell.
That's true.
And
Because then if it goes wrong, like, they're going to get over it. I guess I don't have to worry about them.
Yeah, exactly. And, it's also, and this is kind of funny, it's far more motivating to develop something for people who are already your customers.
That's true.
Like people who have already raised their hands and said, yeah, I'm ready. Like it's really fun as we're going through the process of developing this course of receiving emails from participants saying, I'm really looking forward to this. This is going to be really cool.
Yeah.
It's like,
all right.
rock.
I'm gonna make this cool for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's fun to be able to serve people that way.
Yeah, it's true.
And the more quickly that you have people who you can serve and that are also supporting you in return, it's a very motivating thing.
Okay.
So the point of the prototype and iterate process is to get to your minimum economically viable offer as quickly as you possibly can.
So like make a quick sale, even if it's not the final thing.
Yes.
Okay.
And then, that sale can be made off of, and you're obviously going to have to figure out how long is it going to take you to produce something. So you can't necessarily MEVO something like a nuclear reactor. Sorry, it's going to take a long time to build. But what you can do is validate that there is demand for something like that through something like shadow test.
Okay.
So, and again, the purpose of focusing on MEVO first always is minimizing risk. So, it's a very common experience. Actually, one of my clients recently went through this, had a product idea, developed it, actually wanted to develop the entire product first and then started selling it, and decided to test it first. And what he found was there was no market.
Really?
Yeah, nothing. Couldn't even get people to sign up for information, let alone buy something.
Okay.
And
there you go.
If time and effort would have been invested into developing that, it would have served no one. Yeah. And now he's taken everything that he's learned through the process and applying it to something else, but it's a testing process. Yeah. And if there's not an actual market, and you never know until you start trying to sell, if there's not an actual market, it's better to learn that quickly and move on to the next thing than it is to learn that slowly, invest a lot of time and energy, and have nothing to show for it. So that's what a minimum economically viable offer is designed to do.
All right.
All right.